The first game we're going to talk about, as always, is the Mississippi State game. They went down to Kyle Field to play my Texas A&M Aggies, and it was a bit of a slugfest in the first half. Ended up being 7-3 at halftime. Not a pretty game, but the lack of a bye, the injuries, the lack of depth piled up for State in the second half, and the dam burst. The offense couldn't get anything going, and the defense got gassed. And so my Aggies ended up winning 31-9, and they do cover the spread we thought was ludicrous. So Vegas knows.
Vegas knew.
Which we kind of already knew that, but it is what it is. Sanders, your biggest takeaway from the game?
My biggest takeaway is the offensive line injuries. It prevented us from having a passing game. We could not pass the ball successfully for the entirety of the game. And then you remember the one of the few clean pockets that Blake Shapen had. Completion, touchdown. Brennan Thompson beats, what's his name? We got him in our...
Des
Ricks over the top and scores a touchdown. So he does some... But yeah, offensive line trouble was huge. Sacks, tackles for losses. A&M recorded 4 sacks, 9 tackles for losses, and our starting line recorded PFF pass block grades of 69, 54.6, 36.9, 34.4, and 32. So that was a huge struggle for us. It put us in long distances, which goes to my next point, which was third downs. We were 1 for 10 on third downs, which now means that A&M has forced teams to go 1 for 22. Was Auburn 0 for 12?
1 for 20.
They were 0 for 13.
1 for 24 or something like that.
Okay, 1 for 24. Somewhere in there, bad. And our average distance to go, do y'all know? You want to guess? It's really bad. Double digits.
It's 16.
I have average third down distance being 11.4. I don't know where you're getting 16. I can go back and... I got it straight from...
I'm not getting that from anything.
Oh, you're just guessing.
I
have 13-1, which was our lone conversion of the night. 3rd and goal from the 1, false started. 3rd and goal from the 6, did not score. 16-7, 6, which we converted off of roughing the passer. 2 plays later, we threw a pick. 19-7, 11, 23.
Yeah, so third down was a huge struggle. You cannot consistently convert long third downs unless you're UCLA, which we'll get to later in the show. But yeah, that was a huge struggle for us, was third down consistency, which goes to poor pass blocking leads to getting hit behind the line and getting yourself in long distances. And then the last point is offensively, we had a lot of struggles that we can attribute to injury. Defensively, we looked great. For the first 2.5, 3 quarters, definitely for the first half. I mean, we held y'all to 7 points, and the 1 touchdown you scored, you had 2 false starts. 2 guys moved very clearly. And I'm going to poke you about that. It's not actually that big a deal. We ended up losing by a good bit. But, we should have held y'all to 0, or at least, I don't know how that drive would have played out, but y'all had a false start. So the 1 touchdown you had to Casey Concepcion, false starts, so we go down 7-3, but we played great in the first half. I think the interception was in the first half.
It was.
And I mean, our run defense was good in the first half, but the war of attrition of our offense constantly, like I said, not converting third downs, a lot of 3 and outs. I've got our drive chart. I'll walk you through it. 3 plays, minute 49, punt. Actually, this is the drive chart after the 5.5 minute drive for the field goal. So after that drive, which was our second drive of the game, we go 3 plays, 149 punt, 3 plays, 141 punt, 4 plays, 124 interception, 3 plays, 28 seconds punt, 5 plays, 219 punt, 3 plays, 150 punt, 3 plays, 124 punt, 1 play, 13 seconds fumble, 4 plays, 120 touchdown, and then 4 plays, 134 punt. So we had 1 drive go longer than 2 seconds after that scoring drive we had, and the defense just couldn't continue to go out there and fight that losing battle. Watching the offense consistently go 3 and out, and they just couldn't get rested. And we scored the touchdown. I think I turned to you or to Grant, and I was like, yeah, we scored too fast. It didn't actually matter because I think we were still down 2 or 3 point possessions at the time. But I was like, if this were a game, this is actually we scored too fast. Now our defense is going to go back out there, and they're going to be so gassed. They just aren't going to be able to stop y'all. So those are kind of my big points. We did a lot better about penalties, especially considering where we were. I have it put up.
3 for 35.
3 penalties, but how many? I don't think we had any of the pre-snap penalties that have
You
really.
had the
We had a
big one
false
on
start
first
that
and
was
goal.
fourth and third
Yes.
and one.
Okay.
Or
Thank
your
you.
third and one on the.
Yeah, but
goal
the
line.
other that was our only offensive penalty was the one false start on the
Good
goal
night,
line.
Jay Whitty.
Good night, J-Dub. Thank you for joining us for a few minutes. Like the video, like the stream. And then defensively, we had the 2 big ones and an unnecessary roughness, which was little.
Soft.
It was soft. He shouldn't have hit him, but it's a little soft.
It
It
was
didn't
soft.
matter. A&M didn't score on that drive.
Yeah.
That's true.
And then the pass interference, which I don't remember, but the pass interference was. But
100% pass
yeah,
interference. Well,
y'all end up with 9 penalties.
Yes,
I
Kelly
would.
Jones
yeah, it was.
Yes, it was.
tackled him to the ground.
So, yes, and if he turned around, he had a great.
GG, Josh. I won in the league. The only league I care about out of the 2, so I'm happy.
That's good copium.
Yeah, we have 3 penalties. Y'all have the 9. The over under 18.5. The under hits, which was tough for me.
Good work, JP. We were all
but
over that.
Jack and JP both took the
Yeah.
under on 18.5.
That was light work.
Easy.
But yeah, I mean penalties, great improvements there. But yeah, that's my 5-minute monologue.
I was say that was a really good biggest takeaway from the game. That
My
was
bad.
you're good. We were gonna get to it all anyway. I just thought it was funny. JP, your biggest takeaway from the game, or anything else stick out to you? I know you came away from the game upset at the offense.
It's really refreshing, and honestly, an unbelievable positive that Jeff Lebby, the head coach at Mississippi State of the football team, has reacted the same exact way that I have reacted to the game. In that complete frustration with the way it went offensively. And he was adamant about that in his postgame press conference. And to go from Zach Arnett, who essentially his answer almost every single week, which was almost a loss pretty much every single time, was, we just got to, figure out if we're going to play the right way, We just got to, go back out there on Saturday. We got a tremendous opportunity ahead of us, and, we're just going to have to figure out who's going to play the right way. And to go from that into Jeff, where he is taking full onus on him, showing full frustration, and not like frustration in a negative way, a really again, it's another game of he feels like we should have won that game. And I know State fans feel that way as well. The negative plays was a big thing he harped on immediately. State had negative plays of a 6-yard sack, a 7-yard sack, a negative 7-yard rush, a negative 8-yard fumble recovery, a negative 6-yard catch, a 12-yard sack, a 7-yard sack. Most of those on first and second down. So it just puts you completely behind the 8 ball. It takes away what you had been doing so well, especially on the drive that you scored running the ball, because you can't do that on 2nd and 16 or 3rd and 17. And then the number of snaps the defense played. You know how many times A&M rushed the ball?
Like
58.
51 times.
Yeah, that'll do it.
51 rushing attempts. And so they play. The defense was electric for 3 quarters, and then the 4th quarter got to them, and it was just the tackling wasn't there. But how could you when you have to tackle them for a 50th time in the game? He expressed the same feeling that a lot of State fans have of if we could, quite literally, if we could have just got one more count, one more millisecond almost in the pocket, maybe it's a different game. Shapen would have hit the touchdown and Brendan Thompson instead of an interception if he has one more second, but we couldn't get that. But Lebby took onus, saying it's on the play caller to protect the quarterback, and that was something I really was happy to see, because that was one of my biggest takeaways. Was it just didn't feel like, I don't think we chipped once. Try to chip a pass rusher once, and that's normally something you do a ton or even just bring in a tight end to really
No,
block full.
I know we did. I don't know if you didn't get to see. We have the advantage of replays. They showed some replays, and we tried bringing tight ends, and it did not work.
Yeah.
There was the one we had a tight end. It was the left tackle and a tight end, and the left tackle takes a step back. The edge rusher feigns going outside to the tight end, and the tackle follows him and like kind of runs in the tight end, and then he just cuts back inside, and the tackle just does like a little 360. He got put in the spin cycle.
Cassius House.
He
so
ended
quick,
up
man.
running into our tight end instead of like using the tight end to like push the rusher into him. He was like, "Oh, I need to like." He was playing like the tight end wasn't there, and ended up getting beat pretty badly.
Cassius
So,
House scary. You got to.
yeah, I do agree that like that day we tried it. It was the right approach to try that. At one point, we had 3 guys blocking 2 with the help of a tight end. Didn't work.
Yeah.
So the thought was there and the attempts were there, but
Lebby
Could've
with
done it
second
more.
Lebby
string,
followed it up
yeah,
immediately after that by saying, we have to be able to block with 5 if we're going to score 7. And that's what he said. And that's the truth going forward. It just kind of, like you said, Jack, I felt felt a ton of frustration after the game for the defense to hold A&M on the road to 0 points till 3 minutes left of the second quarter. And then you got beat on one play. Kelly Jones got beat back-to-back plays, and it's 7-3. But in reality, like with how the mantra kind of is right now of showtime and Lebby being an offensive coach, giving up 7 points at half on the road in the SEC, like you
Pretty
should
phenomenal.
feel really good.
yeah. If you had told me going into the game that we would have given up 7 in the first half, I would have taken that 100 times out of 100. I would have feel like we had a really good chance of winning that game. But yeah, that I agree.
So I have frustration is
Sure.
the biggest thing, because it just Shapen's getting guys pushed into his lap, and then I'm with that post-game press conference. I'm frustrated at our reporters, and he's also frustrated a little bit at our fan base. One of the reporters is asking, was there ever a consideration to put Kamario Taylor in there for a series?
Terrible question.
That's just a BS question. Lebby did a great job at pushing that off by saying that he didn't feel like there was any reason to bring in Kamario for running packages. Just there wasn't a moment for it. The only moment they had, of course, we false started. So frustration is the biggest thing. I will say I knew I was going to have a good time going to the game, and I had a great time going to the game.
I'm glad you did.
I want to reiterate what I told y'all last night. It's like you see the 12th man, home of the 12th man side of the stadium all the time. If you watch an A&M game, they show that view with all of the towels spinning in the student section there. It's way better in person, and it was really sick. And at Kyle Field's great, and it was another. I really enjoyed it as well. Again this time,
I'm glad.
would not have not gone had I known that was how the game was going to play. Regardless,
Yeah.
it was an excellent time.
Makes sense.
Fluff Bothwell injury. I saw people complaining about having starters in or having the check down thrown. Both those are bogus.
Freak accident.
Well,
whatever it
was-
is.
Yeah.
Given the time in the game, so Lebby uses his 3 timeouts to save time for us. We were down 3 scores at the time. No, I think we were down 3 scores at the time. So, we weren't necessarily out of it. We were on the positive side of the 2-minute warning as well. So we were still going for the win, and I actually I would like to praise Lebby for still trying to go for the win. All things considered, even with how bad the offense was playing all day, he's still he's using his timeouts to try and save time and give ourselves a chance, not giving up. I actually praise that more than if he had just sent the backups out there, because like you said, freak injury. It's unfortunate, but we were trying to win the game still.
And even if we weren't trying to win the game because it's 3 scores with not a whole lot of time left, that's a crazy environment, and that's great practice. And I get that, like, whatever. It was a great opportunity to have our first team try that, because in 2 weeks we could be down 3 at Florida. And Florida, I don't know what the capacity is there, but the Swamp can get bumping. I mean, it was bumping against Texas. I expect that it's going to be loud because it's an SEC home game. And so to give your guys most of those guys haven't had played together on the road in an SEC team. Brennan Thompson hasn't played with Blake Shapen. Anthony Evans, his first year here. You're starting young guys at O-line. You've got, at the time, Fluff Bothwell, who hasn't played SEC road games. Like, this is a great opportunity to give them a chance to learn this, to experience this, so that if we're down 3 at Florida, they're not doing it for the first time. So I have zero problem with leaving the starters out there.
Sure.
And, yeah, I mean, it's crazy unfortunate.
I will say I'm glad that you show frustration, because I've seen a lot of State fans revert to like, oh, well, we're a bad team. So like, A&M fans, why are y'all celebrating, for example? And it's like, why are you diminishing your own team and what they've done this season? I know the result wasn't great in it being 31-9, but they did go out there and fight. So like, why? I don't know. It's frustrating to be like, to see people dogging on their own team and just trying to brush it off as like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think it's stupid to not be frustrated.
Agreed.
I don't. There's no reason to go down specifically the 2 avenues and only be on one of those 2 avenues of our team sucks. We're terrible. We're terrible, terrible. Blow up everything. Start Kamario Taylor. Fire Jeff Lebby. There's a fucking burner account that posted that Jeff Lebby was Joe Moorhead. Essentially, they were equal, and it just insane. Jeff Lebby beat Arizona State this season, and he's clearly got this program going in the right direction. And then there's been the other avenue of, which I don't agree if you're going to fully go down this avenue, that Jeff Lebby's burner has specifically gone down of, that he's just happy that we have a pulse again.
Yeah.
Like that, I understand that, but you only get one season a year, and we've had tremendous opportunity in front of us the past 2 weeks, and we haven't taken advantage of both of those opportunities, and so there's no reason to not be frustrated.
Maybe he's
Agreed.
just going for your approach of lowering your expectations.
I understand that, but I just don't think it can be the only. I agree.
Yeah.
But I don't think it can be the only thing. I have lower expectations, but
You still want to win the game.
I would love to win the game, and when the past 2 weeks we haven't won the game because we haven't been able to execute things you have to execute to win, that is what frustrates me a ton. Last week, just handing them 14 points, inability to protect the football, and then even this week, still an inability to protect the football. Like the 2 fumbles, like what is going on? The one we end up recovering, but like you can't hand the ball off on the road. Shapen loses 8 yards on it. Anthony Evans, you just basically pitch it to the other team. Like those 2 things, it's stupid.
The Anthony Evans one comes late in the game. Maybe he's trying to do too much by
Yeah,
himself.
you should just get down.
Break too many tackles. Like he's just putting the ball at risk, trying to break a big play that's just not going to be broken.
Well, what happened there is he just never secured it, essentially. He catches it, and then he leaves it out in front of his hands, and he bobbles it as he turns upfield. Catch it, bring it in, and put it in the slot, protect it. And then the shape and interception really frustrates me because I don't know if y'all could see it on the broadcast angle. It was a touchdown.
Yeah.
It was going
Sure.
to be a touchdown to Brendan Thompson.
I mean, that's why he was pissed. I don't know if you saw the clip like after or anything, but he went to the offensive line
Yeah.
and was basically screaming at them and like.
And Lebby knew it too. He mentioned in the post-game press conference, I was standing up, and I only looked at Brendan Thompson, and then the next thing I hear the crowd cheer, and I look and see that the ball was somehow intercepted. So I had no clue the ball was even deflected.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for Brendan Thompson to go catch it. And so you can be in one of the paths, but I think you got to be somewhere in the middle as well.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm in the Lebby's burner path of I am happy that we do have a pulse again. What a blessing it is to be but for me, it's what a blessing it is to be frustrated with losing
Yeah.
a game you feel like you should have won again.
Sure.
Yeah. And now, I mean, the season's not over. Bowl game is still attainable. We still have Arkansas on the schedule. That's probably the most winnable game left. Ole Miss at home. Who knows what can happen in bowl games? But Texas at home, Florida on the road. It depends on which Florida shows up, which Texas shows up. There are still a lot of winnable games.
I'm gonna have to find my
couple.
way into the Texas game.
There are several winnable games left on the schedule.
We'll get you in there.
Okay, bet.
So we're not like there. I'm having to fight off the temptation of like looking to next season because like I'm really excited about what the team could be, but I don't want to get lost in like a healthy Fluff Bothwell, Lebby investing in the O line for another offseason, year 2 of Kamario Taylor, year 3 of Luke Cromanhook in the system, or year 2, year 3 Cromanhook, like just not knowing what next year's going to look like, but also like getting excited for that, but not losing myself in that excitement because we still bowl game is still on the table for this year.
A lot of
The
opportunities
Liberty
left.
Bowl is still there. On the A&M side, I don't know. I thought y'all played well.
Yeah,
I think clearly did not play your best whatsoever, especially offensively in the first half. I know everyone in the building is shocked when you get stopped on the goal line like that.
Well, it hurts.
Le'Veon Moss gets hurt on that series, had to limp out like right before your first and goal, and Ruben Owens couldn't punch it in.
Yeah, it really hurts that Moss goes out, but you still want to see the O-line take control there. I think it was on this maybe I think it was the second down play, but it might have been the third down play. We pull 2 guards and they run into each other, and so it's like that play is just dead at that point because where the running back's supposed to go, there's just 2 guards that have just hit each other, so there's no hole. So just stuff like that. And that's talking about being frustrated. That's the biggest frustration with A&M right now, and A&M fans is the lack of just consistency.
Yeah, absolutely.
From just play to play, but especially in games, right? And even like with Marcel, the first half it was like last year Marcel Reed again.
Yes.
He's hitching. He's got happy feet in the pocket.
Yeah, he did not look good.
And then he comes down in the second half, and obviously everything was easier for him. We were getting guys in space better, but he just looked more confident. He was more poised, stuff like that. So it's just like, why can't we be that from the jump?
I think it solidifies what this year is right now, at least, that's the 5th best team in the nation right now.
Yeah.
By the AP poll ranking that just came out today, and I'm pretty sure we're all going to have A&M in the top 5 as well.
Yeah,
so
I think
it's
so,
just
probably.
it's crazy because it normally feels like that top 5 team is so consistent, and they have a blimp here and there. But now it's those kinds of teams can be inconsistent. I mean, the teams in the top 10 right now are Georgia, who looked inconsistent against Alabama, and quite frankly should have lost the Tennessee game. That you have Alabama, who's in there. Indiana didn't look necessarily great against subpar competition. It's crazy.
Yeah.
How does it up at the top? But it really only it feels like 3 teams separated themselves.
Exactly what I told A&M people this whole weekend.
Yeah.
'Cause they kept being like, oh, we're good, but like, I don't think we're top 5. And it's like, someone has to be 5.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
maybe it shouldn't be us, but make an argument for someone else that is just played, at a high level week to week. Because A&M has played at a high level in moments. But yeah, it's just,
Absolutely.
I completely agree with that. Major props to the defense. I know State was beat up, but to hold y'all to 9 and 3 in the first half, and especially when the offense is sputtering, for the defense to just go out there, hold y'all to 1 of 11 on third downs,
That's
take
big.
advantage of the battered O-line. Cassius
Agreed.
Howell gets 3 sacks. Other people are
100%.
getting active. To take advantage of the turnovers, I mean, Damian Stanford had the easiest pick of his life, but
Yep.
he does make the play. Dalton Brooks, easiest fumble recovery of his life, but he is there to make the play. We only missed 5 tackles on the evening, and we held y'all to 2.2 rushing yards per play, which sacks go into that. And a lot of it was y'all didn't really have the opportunity to run. But just a great performance from the defense. Very, very happy with that side
Agreed.
of the ball. It was just very well done, and that's back-to-back great performances from the defense. So,
And the fan base is fully into it. That was the 5th
100%.
largest capacity crowd ever for Mississippi State. So congrats on winning y'all's Super Bowl.
Telling you, that was the one guaranteed SEC night game we got this season, and
Yeah.
we made the most of it. Which now we have one next week against Florida confirmed.
Huge.
Which will be
chalk DJ Lagway.
be fun. But we've had, I think it was 7 of our 12 largest crowds have been in the Mike Elko era.
Wow.
Something crazy like that. Like, the fan base is fully bought into what he's doing.
As they should
And
be.
speaking of how Jeff Lebby talks in a presser, I love the way Mike Elko talks in a presser compared to Jim Bob Fisher with this whole, we got to execute, we got to execute, we got to execute.
Did he mention? Did you listen to his post-game press conference?
Clips. I've not gone and watched the full thing.
Did he
yet. I've not had
mention the
time.
Cabo Fund? Because
I don't know, man. I hope he did.
What y'all raised? What, $50,000, $55,000
It was
in penalties.
the way that game started was torturous because we had all the penalty issues last year. He says that, and I think we had 3 penalties on our first 4
Yes.
plays or something like that, and it was just like, holy crap, it's bad. But yeah, I just want more consistency from the offense is the biggest thing, and I don't know if we're going to get it. And then really the other big thing with the offense, the last thing is, especially in that first half, and I don't know what the reads are for Marcel, right? But he takes a lot of downfield shots. There is not a ton of easy stuff. And then in the second half, we're motioning Craver and motioning Conception and getting guys naked and just easy pitch and catches and then, yards after catches there. But first half, it's drop back, sit, just launch the ball downfield 30 yards and see what happens over and over again.
I think I can speak to it having seen it.
Sure.
And I basically had an all-22 view from where I was sitting, so it was very nice. I mentioned it last night. I feel like so much of his game is just taking what's being handed to him on a silver platter. Like you mentioned, especially in the second half, it was, okay, we motion Casey Concepcion all the way across the formation, and we just follow him as he runs an out route, and we hit that. Very easy to do. Oh, we get the pass protection for a few seconds, and then we just throw it deep to Mario Craver. Very simple and easy to do. The intermediate passing game is clearly not there, and I'd also say I don't feel like the short passing game is really there as well. Like the y'all do a great job at the extension of the run game and the screen game, and you should because you have Mario Craver and Casey Concepcion. But at also just like simple stuff, like simple little short 6-yard completions, I don't think they do enough of. When you have guys that are as fast as Mario and KC, if you could use them on a little 6-yard in route, throw that twice, well, then you can really set up the double move later on in the game, and it doesn't feel like, one, it's not being called, but two, it didn't feel like that's something that Marcel might be capable of throwing consistently, and you can see that at times his accuracy can be very poor on throws like that.
It comes and
it's
goes
how he
for
gets
sure.
his picks. That's how a ton of his picks are they're just really bad throws, really inaccurate throws. So I love that he loves to throw it deep, and he should with the weapons that he does, but what he's missing right now is he's missing the ability to get the easy ones that just can keep the drive going.
Yeah.
And keep you out of where he is the worst, which is 3rd and 7 plus.
Yeah.
If that could be worked on, I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the country because he's so damn fast, and he throws a very good deep ball when it's there.
Yeah. I am happy he used his legs a little more last night.
Absolutely.
Because
He was great.
I don't know why that wouldn't be a big part of his game. And then I do think he throws a good deep ball, but it's just sometimes he gets excited, and so that thing just he just launches that Jimbo, and it's just throw it. I don't really know what the difference between throwing and launching it is, but he just gets excited or something, and that thing just he throws it before it needs to get thrown. He's got a way to beat, I guess. And then last thing I say we can get out here is I love Le'Veon Moss. Brody gets hurt at the worst times. Just not even talking about his seasoning injury last year, which was a terrible time to get hurt, but goes out first and goal. He just he has anxiety issues, which I completely understand. I'm not dogging on that. But then he'll just disappear for half a quarter because he's throwing up on the sideline, and it's Ruben Owens is not bad. Le'Veon Moss is a different animal.
Absolutely.
We need that guy. We're a different offense with him. So I would just love if he could continue to put together 4 quarters of football because he really hasn't done that much this year. Anything else on this game before we move on?
No, nothing really. We can talk about both these teams next week more than likely. Obviously, State.
Yeah.
But congrats to the Aggies.
Thank you. It was a fun game. Congrats to y'all.
Yeah,
Y'all came and fought.
I mean, a better performance than we had 2 years ago.
100%.
Not a better start to the game, but a better first half. Absolutely.
For sure.
Can't really have a better start to
Yeah.
the game than last trip.
I wish I had texted that earlier. The moment I thought of texting that, it was like 3 minutes left in the first quarter. I was like, nah, the joke's kind of passed. But
Yeah, if you had texted after kickoff and been like, uh-oh.
well, worse start than we had last year.
Yeah.
State's in trouble.
That would have been good.
But the blackout they did well. Everyone wore black for the most part. I disagree with the people that thought they should have black towels. The white towels made it look cool.
I think you want them to pop, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, that's why you go keep the
Agree,
white.
100%. And the end zones didn't look as bad as they did in the photos that we saw. You couldn't really tell.
They didn't look like they weren't. I mean, it's hard to get something to be 100% black, but like you could see like
Sure.
little bits on the.
They were definitely better than the
It was
picture
hard to see
Definitely
in
better.
person.
Yeah.
Definitely better.
Yeah.
But I agree. I do. Yeah.
And it's also I was like looking for it because of the photos. So like that's like if you aren't looking for it, you wouldn't have noticed. But I was like I think I can see the block letters like
Sure.
very faintly.
I'm glad you enjoyed. It's kind of a thing of pride of being like, that's my team, that's my stadium. I want people to have a good time there.